She's an icon, she's a legend, and she is the moment. Now come on now.
Hey everybody, it's me, RunnerEye, and today we're going to be talking about the best fights of Drag Race Untucked. We're going to be putting them into a tier list, and we're going to be seeing which one is the best, which one is the worst. Let's get right into it right now. Boom! Hey, you should totally subscribe to my channel. I make lots of cool stuff, just like this video that you're watching now. And I've made this, and I've made this, and you can totally subscribe, and then I'll make more, and then it's actually a really cool thing. If you subscribe, I'll make more, and like that's a really cool relationship that we can have, so you should better fucking do it. So here are the tiers. Look how lovely they are. Look at me stroking the tiers right now. Please don't edit in something else over it. So first off in the list, we have probably one of the most iconic fights in all of Drag Race. We have Mimi I'm First versus everyone.
Do not attack my fans, bitch.
The that I've seen, you don't have that many. So out of 50...
So the fight starts after every single girl in the room decides to tell Mimi I'm First all at once that they don't think that she's of the caliber to be on All Stars 1. Which kind of sounds like a normal, generic fight, but nothing can be normal or generic when Tammy Brown is involved.
You want it crazy? Well, you got it now.
Ha! Ha!
I'm acting. Change your costume, Mimi. Your costume, change it around. Oh, well, come on, Teletubby. Teleport us to Mars.
What the
But it's just such tonal whiplash, because it's like, 1 second you're focusing on Mimi and she's feeling very misunderstood. Then it just suddenly cuts to cracked out Edith Piaf in the corner of the room doing her little monologues. It's really, really, really amazing. However, you also have other quotable people in the room, such as Raven with her
You, Mimi I'm First. Mimi I'm First was number 3 in the voting. I could not believe it.
and you also have Yara Sophia's
Because they need someone to go home first.
It's all just complete and utter chaos in the best way possible. I mean, just even seeing a still frame of this fight, it literally looks like it could have been painted by Leonardo da Vinci. And for that reason, I have no other choice. It is going in the It's Like a Shakespearean Play, because it genuinely is. So next up we have Aja versus Valentina. I was gonna say that this was a very recent fight and that it happened only a couple of years ago, but I do think that it is around like 5 years old, probably even more, which is very, very scary to me. So the story is that Aja was getting frustrated that she wasn't being seen by the judges and that she wasn't doing as well as she thought she was gonna do on the show, and she decides to kind of vent her frustration by talking about how much the judges love Valentina.
You're perfect, you're beautiful, you look like Linda Evangelista, you're a model. She doesn't even, she can walk out there in a diaper. And they're like, Valentina, your smile is beautiful.
There is nothing else to say about this clip. It is pretty great. It is probably one of the most famous clips of all of the Untucked fights in general, and it is still quoted to this day. So I'm gonna give it a solid, I think about you all the time. Do I necessarily think about her all the time, or this clip all the time? No. Which is probably an oversight on my part, but we're too far in it now. We can't change the tiers. So next we have Serena Chacha versus everyone from season 5. Now, this fight spawned because people were starting to get fed up with Serena Chacha's attitude this season. She said a lot of things. She rubbed people the wrong way, I think, you know. But there are just so many amazing quotes from this entire fight. We have probably the most iconic part of this fight, which is Roxy's.
We're all in the same caliber.
Except for Serena.
You also have Alyssa's.
Bitch, sit your ass down and shut the hell up, bitch.
So everyone is dragging Serena Chacha's performance, and Serena Chacha states that she wants to have an educated and civilized argument about the situation. And this is a common theme that keeps coming up throughout the fight. She keeps saying that she's educated and that everyone else isn't. And then you find out that she has an arts degree. As someone who also has an arts degree, we do not have the street cred to go around bragging about how smart we are. So then after inferring that everyone in the room was dumb multiple times, Serena decides to dig her grave even deeper by then telling everyone in the room that she was sick of them speaking ghetto which she refers to as a third language for her that she's learning while she's there. It's not good.
Ghetto's a place, mama.
Yeah, exactly.
So don't call someone a place.
It's a language too. When you girl.
So then naturally everyone is very pissed at her, even more than they were before, and she decides to have the best rebuttal as to why she can say that and she can say anything she wants because she is so smart.
I read books.
She reads books. That is why Serena Chacha thought that she could get away with everything that she did. She went into that room being like, I'm gonna make an enemy of every single person here. If I treaded on people's toes that much, I would be like immediately trying to like, oh, sorry, didn't know, didn't mean to say that, didn't mean to infer that you were stupid, sorry, I'm just gonna take a step back. But Serena Chacha does something which I kind of respect it in its own way, where once she says something bad, she's like, how can I make this situation worse? And you know what? She makes it worse and worse and worse until eventually Detox decides to put her in her place, and she says,
The off. I've had it with you. Go the home. I've had it officially.
And you know what is just like a cherry on top to all of this madness that happens during this fight is that these two people, Alyssa and Coco, two people who had probably the biggest feud in Drag Race history, they personally came together to support each other to take down Serena Chacha. This has only one tier to go in, and that is, it is like a Shakespearean play. So next we have Aiden Zane versus everyone from season 12. Now during this fight, everyone was kind of dogpiling on Aiden because they didn't think that she deserved to be there. They disagreed with some of her placements, and they were saying that in this specific episode, she should have been in the bottom. Aiden tries to defend herself, but people keep speaking over her. They keep not paying attention to her and ultimately just dismiss her. So then we have Miss Congeniality herself, Heidi N. Closet, going over to defend poor, helpless Aiden, and she says,
at the end of the day, it doesn't fucking matter, okay? The bitch is safe, leave her the fuck alone. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, and fuck you. I'm gonna worry about Heidi. What is that about? What is all of this about?
But as iconic as that moment is, this is Aiden versus everyone. This should have been about Aiden. So when the only interesting part of your Untucked feud is someone else, it just isn't. And also, like, I watched the rest of it and it's not that interesting. I was just waiting until Heidi came in. I was watching Heidi spiral, kind of like on All Stars 8, and I was just like, when is she gonna snap? When is she gonna snap? And then she snapped and it was fun. But apart from that, it was just kind of boring to watch. So I don't know if I can put it in the bottom tier because it does have one quotable line in there somewhere. So I think just based on that, we're gonna put it in. It has a quotable line in there somewhere, because it does. So next we have Mystique and Morgan. So Morgan confronts Mystique after she thought that she heard Mystique talking about her and Nicole Paige Brooks behind her back in Untucked. So she decides to confront Mystique with a line so cheesy that now I use it when I fight with kids in Roblox eviction notice.
I don't start drama, I end it.
And the fight just kind of whirlwinds into this huge ordeal where they're kind of threatening to hit each other. And even Tatiana steps in to inform the girls that no one else on the cast knows why they're fighting.
I don't know what you are talking about!
I do have to say that as an avid fighter myself, I did do kickboxing for like 3 months back when I was 8. I would say that Mystique chomped Morgan. Yes, I would say that Mystique did eat her up at the end of the day, and she has the iconic line,
I will whoop your ass, bitch, I am from Chicago!
but we have to give it what it deserves, which is Shakespearean play. Sorry. So next we have Willem versus Jeremy, formerly known as Fifi O'Hara. Out of all of the dramas that we're talking about today, I think this probably has my favorite reason for kind of stirring up out of nowhere. And it's because Willem was basically annoying the shit out of Jeremy.
I don't wear blonde, but I was like,
What about in the wrestling ring? You wore blonde there.
that was a Barbie. We were both wearing blonde.
I'm just saying you wear
decision,
blonde.
Jeremy saw that as his last straw, which is very understandable. And so he just went in on Willem, and it's hilarious.
You want to know who I think should go home? I think you should go home. This is a show for talented people, not people that know how to buy shoes. You should not be here. You're a fake-ass bitch. I don't like you, and you shouldn't even be here. Your ass should have been kicked off a long time ago when you sat there and were breaking rules. You don't deserve to be here. You are a disgusting person to me. You're just like, I just don't get why people don't like me. Yeah, because you're a bitch.
Now, some annoying Drag Race fans back in the day shat all over Jeremy for this fight, and they came at him with a lot of negativity. But I think that we can all agree that Willem and Jeremy gave us one of the most iconic, campy, stupid, funny fights that we've ever seen on the show. For me personally, I love everything that Jeremy says here, and I find it so funny. I even used some of his lines in like a college improv assignment that I had to do. It is beautiful. And for that reason, we have to put it in I Think About You All the Time, because this is one of them that I actually do. So next we have, again, another one of the most iconic ones of all of Drag Race history. We have Laganja versus everyone.
Ganja, I didn't want to make it that everybody was attacking you. I feel very attacked.
Relax, relax.
So, Laganja's in the bottom. She did a pretty bad job in the roast. I mean, like, we talked about the roast before. Amazing job, but technically bad. So then the other queens on the season 6 cast decide that now of all times would be a great time to confront Laganja about being fake. So then she starts to get upset because she thinks that the girls see her as annoying, fake, inauthentic, which they probably did at the time. But that does not stop Laganja from being the amazing philosopher that we know that she is. Because while all of this chaos is happening to her, she's still able to make the poignant observation that at the end of the day, drag queens are only human, and humans are evil.
I don't know why I expected anything different. It's just like the human race. We all are just evil.
So after all this, she's had enough, she's over the drama, and she just wants to live a peaceful life, so she storms out of the room, and that is where we get the most underrated quote of this entire fight.
Can y'all get my nail that fell off? Because I'm such a disaster.
So then the editors decide to just rub a little bit more salt in the wound, and they decide to like put in footage of her kind of like hyperventilating outside of the room, looking like the standing emoji, which was not needed. But again, I don't think she knew that she was getting filmed at this moment, but she like starts walking around that outside area, and she just makes the funniest fucking noise. So then the fight ends with this beautiful, amazing line from Courtney Act.
I don't know if we handled that the best way.
I don't even think that there's a question where this one deserves to go. It deserves to go in the Shakespearean play tier. So next we have Charlie Hides versus Eureka.
So you got it, girl.
Ass off. Could you shut up a second?
So Charlie was in the bottom 3 for the cheer challenge, and she was just venting to the group about how hard she had worked and how she didn't want to go home. Eureka is trying to be there as support for her, but in doing so is also just like completely bulldozing over her in the conversation. And that's kind of it. It feels like a bare bones idea for a fight, but they just didn't really like, it feels like, you know, when you have like, you're at Build-A-Bear and you're there with your child, you recently got a divorce, so you just pick up like a little teddy, and then you don't put any stuffing in it, and then it's just like a little dead, lifeless sack for your, you know, little child to play around with. That's what this fight feels like. You know, it just needed the more stuffing just to fill it out. Based on that, I'm just gonna have to put it in, this could have been an email. This could have been cut out, we could have not seen it, and my life would have remained largely unchanged. So next we have a season 2 classic on the board. We have Tatiana versus Tyra.
There isn't anything else to say.
But why are you talking?
Why are you talking?
So this is Tatiana and Tyra fighting about the fact that Tyra was like scream singing in the workroom, and Tatiana had a problem with that.
If I don't like you, I don't like you.
And I don't like you. Are you happy? I don't like you. I'm saying it to your face. Then why are you looking in my direction?
It is that, you know, quintessential season 2 drama where they just hated each other. Everyone on this season. I do think it is on the level of I Think About Her All the Time. I'm not gonna lie to you. So next up we have Jade versus Alyssa in the season 5 Untucked. Alyssa is sad that her snatch game didn't go as well as she had hoped for it to go, and she decides to take out that frustration that she feels on both Coco and Jade. One thing leads to another until we eventually get this beautiful moment.
Girl, if I was gonna judge anyone, I'd judge you on that body where the shoulders should match them hips, but they don't, so.
I love that they gave us a hashtag. I love that they gave us a hashtag for those shoulders should match them hips. I can't imagine, like, if this was like trending at the time. Imagine you saw that, you loaded up Twitter one day and you're scrolling through Twitter, and it's a really nice, beautiful place, as Twitter obviously is, and you just see the trending hashtag, those shoulders should match them hips. What would you think? What? Like, how? And we of course cannot mention this fight without mentioning probably one of the most iconic reads in all of Drag Race. And I know that I say that a lot, but this one, I really, really, really mean it from the bottom of my heart. It is.
Girl, you had rolls all over the place in the back. It was disgusting.
Back rolls. It's too good to not put it in. It's like a Shakespeare play. It is. Those shoulders should match them hips, but they don't? Tell me that Shakespeare himself did not possess J. Jolie in that moment just to get that beautiful little soliloquy out there. So next we have Willem versus Milan from season 4. Now Milan and Willem are kind of beefing because Milan thought that Willem wasn't taking initiative in the challenge, and they kind of fight it out a bit until Willem says that she will not speak to Milan because Milan's voice is raised too high, and that she'll only speak to someone who can speak on her level.
If you want to talk to me at my level,
okay, let me talk to your level. Did you not do that? Because you're so beneath me at this moment. Did you not do that?
How did she think of that in the moment? And the way that no one's laughing either. People were taking this seriously. If someone did that, there's no way that you could sit there with a straight face. I have no idea how they did it. You have Willem, who is someone who is hard to make speechless. Willem always has a little quip, something to say, and she sits there sipping her drink because she has no idea what to say. But Willem, being Willem, did eventually come up with a little quip to get her.
Is the carpet comfortable?
All of it so funny. Both Milan and Willem had really, really clever reads. It's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful fight. I think about it all the time. Like, do I think about it all the time? But no. But like, she's going in there anyway. Look how good. See, compare this with every other tier list that I've ever done. We've never had this many high placements. So next up we have Tamisha versus Candy in the season 13 Untucked. So Tamisha and Candy get into a fight when Tamisha calls Candy arrogant.
So let me be arrogant. Let me be arrogant, baby.
It does not change what I said. I said what I said.
And this is just naturally the perfect storm of individuals which you would want to see in a fight, because both of these people are not the types of people to back down from confrontation. If anything, they probably lean into it more.
I'm gonna smack the shit out of someone. I do not want to be here.
Bitch, you may hit me,
I do not want to be
but
here.
you won't hit me.
This is ridiculous.
You won't hit me.
And they kind of feed off of each other's anger until it's just kind of like this chaotic tornado of like two personalities going at it. There's so many moving parts to it, and I find it's interesting to watch every single part of it. It's beautiful. I think it is Shakespearean play. So next up we have Jiggly versus LaShawn Beyond from season 4. This is probably one of the most quoted fights of all of Drag Race. So in this fight, LaShawn is getting mad at Jiggly because she doesn't know how to sew, and she's been making a lot of excuses about not knowing how to sew. And then, as all Untucked fights, they kind of lose track of what they were actually mad about, and it just spirals into something completely fucking random. And then by the end, you have these amazing quotes from specifically LaShawn.
I'm not here to make best buddies, bitch. You've been everybody's BFF and kick. No, I don't have to be your friend to win this show. This is not RuPaul's best friend race.
Sherlock.
Like, LaShawn literally like picked up Jiggly and her little tinfoil outfit. She wrapped her around like a little baked potato, put her in the microwave, and then put that shit on like 5 minutes, and Jiggly blew up. That's the kind of destroying that LaShawn did here. So is it like the best fight? Not really. It does get a little bit, boring in that first half, but then as soon as you get to LaShawn giving her monologue to Jiggly, it is amazing. So I think I can justify putting it in. She's a little bit of a serve. Was the entire thing a serve? No. But that little corner slice was a serve. So we're gonna serve it up and we're gonna put it in. She's a little bit of a serve. So next we have Shangela versus Mimi I'm First from the season 3 Untucked.
I don't have a sugar daddy. I've never had a sugar daddy. If I wanted a sugar daddy, yes, I probably could go out and get one, because I am what? Sickening. You could never have a sugar daddy because you are not that kind of girl. Bitch! No.
This probably remains the most quotable thing, not even in just Untucked fight scenes, but just in Untucked period. It gets referenced off the show, it gets referenced on the show. It is not afraid to reference or be referenced. It is not the original Untucked fight as we've seen from like season 2, but it is probably the fight which kind of popularized Untucked as its own kind of thing that people want to tune in for. It is absolutely ridiculous. And I think it sums up exactly why people love Untucked. That campy, stupid, ridiculous, fighting about nothing, and it's a really, really, really iconic moment of the show. So that's the tier list. Thank you so much for being here with me today. I really enjoyed making this one. Please like, subscribe, comment. I also have a Twitter, I have an Instagram if you want to go follow me over there. Again, thank you so much for being here. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.